guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you could be here today. Today I'm going to go over different types of makeup brushes. So if you've ever been a little lost in the store and like, why are there so many types of brushes? Aren't your fingers good enough? This is gonna kind of explain some of that for you. So I'm gonna start with a foundation brush. This is a brush from IT Cosmetics for Ulta, and this is it's the number 115. It's kind of put off. This is like their Foundation Perfect or whatever brush. It's angled slightly, you can see it's not level, and it's really packed in, kind of stipple type brush. It's really good to put the foundation on and kind of spread it around your face, blend a little bit. If you're wanting full-blown blending, you might want to use another brush. This is really good for like just the basics every day. I also have another type of foundation brush I use occasionally. This is a Luxie 660 Precision Foundation brush. You see it's domed versus flat, and it's a little fluffier. And this is gonna kind of apply it in a little bit different fashion. You can still sort of get the same effect, but if you're wanting to blend it out more, this is probably what you're going to want to use. And then so from foundation, then typically move on to your blush powders, that bronzer. And so this is what I like to use for my blush. This is the SL Miss Glam macaron brush. It's a tapered highlighter brush. It's M05, but I really like it for blush purposes instead of highlighting. I also have this Luxie 514 blush brush, which I use sometimes, but if you'll notice, its surface area is a lot smaller than the tapered highlight brush. So I just like the effect that this one gives more than this. I feel like I can blend out more with this versus this one, but I still use this one some. And then from blush, I usually put on my bronzer, and for that I have the $1 Billion fan brush. It's fun, it's pretty, it's really soft, and I like fan brushes a lot for bronzer because I feel like you can be more precise with it than with a lot of people just use like their blush brush to go in with the bronzer, and I prefer this just because it makes it a little more precise for me, a little easier to blend out. And then as far as highlighting goes, I have an SL Miss Glam L36. It's just a smaller tapered highlighting brush, and it's just like that it gives it in a smaller, more focused surface area than a large highlighter would, so that's why I go with that. And then for concealing purposes, I like the Urban Decay Flat Optical Blurring brush. It's the F108. It's this, obviously it's flat. The bristles are really packed in, and it kind of, when you're putting it on, it kind of has a finger motion, like almost like you're pressing with your fingers, but it's with the brush, so you're not transferring the oils from your hands when you're putting it on, but you're getting the same effect. And then everybody needs a full face brush because that's what you're going to use like for your loose powders, or you could compress powder, like an all over face powder brush. So I use the SL Miss Glam, it's one of the macaron brushes. It's the M01 Expert Face, and it's just a really big fluffy brush. It's super soft too, and that's just good for like blending out anything and applying your loose powders. And then onto eyes, which you have a lot more brushes for the eyes. So for this I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You don't have to use all 8 at once. On a typical day I use 4 of them. If you're not a big makeup person, you don't want to put a lot of products on, you could probably just get away with like 2. So don't get intimidated by it at all. Like, they're definitely brushes out there to help you achieve a lot of looks, or you can go really simple with just, you know, 1 or 2 brushes and achieve a simple, great everyday makeup look. It's for your face. When you get your eyes, you gotta go a little crazier. But first up, I'm gonna start with a fluffy crease brush. This brush, if you don't have any other brushes for your eyes, you need a fluffy crease brush. This is again SL Miss Glam. It's a macaroon. It's the M06 fluffy crease. Kind of see how fluffy it is, like. And this brush is great for applying the shadow in your crease, applying shadow to your lid. You could use it to highlight. It is multi-purpose, so don't let the name fool you. If you're wanting to kind of go with a little more brushes, get a little adventurous, there are other kinds, so you're gonna want the fluffy crease. There's also this tapered crease brush, which works really well if you're wanting a more precise crease, a lot more product. I also really like to use this brush to pack shadow into the corner, the outer corner of my eye, kind of give it some definition. You can also use this to put it on the inner corners as well. There's that. Those, I would say these are the 2 that I use every day. But I also have just a regular flat eyeshadow brush. This is good for packing shadow onto your lid if you want to really pack it on. And then there's also an angled, like a medium angled shading brush, which is also good for kind of spreading it on your lid. You can go in your crease with this one too if you want. And this is the Luxie 207. And then my shadow is the SL Miss Glam eyeshadow brush in 15. And I couldn't tell you what this one is, but it's a tapered crease brush. And then there's several kinds, so if you kind of want a 2-in-1, they have like double brushes. So this one is Farrah. It's Shade and Blend 22E. So what you would do is you would shade with this and blend with this. And this is almost like your fluffy crease. You could go in with your crease, you could put your shade on. You could also blend out with this one. So if you're kind of like, I just need one brush, definitely get one of the double-ended brushes because it's gonna make your life pretty easy. And oh, there's also short shader brushes. They're little tiny domed brushes. This is the Luxie 223 short shader, and these are really good if you want to come up under your lash line and put anything there. These are going to help with that a lot. And then another brush that I use frequently, I use this for my eyebrows, but you can also use this to apply eyeliner, is the Luxie small angle brush. You guys have probably seen this a couple times. I like to use this for my brows. You could use it to apply liner. It's just a really good brush overall. It's one of my favorites. And then there's what they call a blending brush, which I have the Elizabeth Mott blending brush. I really like this one. I like to use the blending brush to apply the highlighter to my brow bone. Also, if I feel like my crease is really thick or heavy, I use this to kind of blend it out some. So that's really it. There's a lot of shadow brushes out there that can do different things. I have a lot. This is just a small portion. I have a lot of the same type of brush. It's like them in my Ipsy bags. But like I said, really, you only need one. If all you have is one eyeshadow brush, get the fluffy crease brush because you're going to be able to achieve almost anything with this. So I hope that helps you guys some, maybe overwhelmed you a little. I'm sorry. If you have any other questions about brushes, feel free to like drop a comment. I check my comments all the time, so I'd be willing to answer any questions you might have. If you're curious about the differences between certain brushes that I maybe didn't explain well enough, again, let me know. I'd love to help you out. Makeup's kind of a huge hobby of mine, and I just love passing my advice on to others. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.